Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Satchidanandarupaya Vishwotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Paramananda Madhavam. Om Vang me manasi pratisthita Mano me vachi pratishthitam Aviravir maedhi Vedasya ma'anistha Shrutam me ma prahasihi Anenadhitena Ahoratran sandadhami Rudam vadishyami Satyam vadishyami Tanmam avatu Tadvaktaram avatu Avatu mam Avatu vaktaram Avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punaha Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Shri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Shri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Jihve Pibaswamrutameta Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. He Krishna He Yadava He Sakheti. He Krishna He Yadava He Sakheti. He Krishna He Yadava He Sakheti. So we were seeing the 30th and 31st shloka, and the topic we were covering last time is the levels of understanding which different people have about themselves. And I spoke about 3 levels which are covered from 11th onwards up to 30, and 1 level which Bhagwan spoke about when he saw Arjun may not have understood what has been said till now. So Bhagwan stoops down to a different level, which is the level most of us in this world are at. So that's the level which Bhagwan is going to explain. So the 3 levels I spoke about was, first, one understand himself to be the supreme consciousness. In this BMR chart you see, which is Om. Supreme consciousness, self, Paramatman, Brahman, they are all synonyms to the same word. Okay, that's the first level which people understand. When I used one word, I am nothing but consciousness, but actually I should change that word. I am everything but consciousness. I am everything means I am pervaded in everybody and the same consciousness which is in everyone. That's the first level. The second level I spoke about was when somebody understands themselves to be Jiva, and we call them what? Living being. I use the word living being, not human being, for a purpose that all living beings are Jiva. Whether plants, animals, they are different levels of evolution of that Jiva, but not as per the Darwin theory of evolution. I'm talking that, everyone's evolution, I'm going to cover that topic even today. There are certain aspects which creates whether we are going to grow in life vertically or whether we are going to go down in that vertical line of growth. So that will define, and where we'll grow, I'll come to that point and later on when we cover that topic. So that's the second level, whether if one considers themselves a Jiva or living being. Acha, what is the difference? When you consider yourself as Atman, you are already all pervading. You pervade with everyone. You remember the biggest point to remember is that there is no difference of what? Being, caste, creed, religion. You are the same as everyone. So remember, all the differences cease to exist. When I come to this BMI chart, a person who is identified at the level of Atman does not even have something called an identification with BMI also. When he or she does not have an identification with BMI, then please remember this V, which is Vasana, has got no field to express itself. So that person, even while living in the body, is free from his past vasanas also. He does not have any fear, any shoka, any moha, any sorrow or any delusion. Why? Because wherever he looks, he sees himself alone. I'll use one shloka which is quoted in Kathopanishad also, which is quoted in Drigdrishya Vivek also. His meditation is what? Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever he look, he is in meditation. He does not need a place or kind of an environment, anything. Wherever he look, everything is his extension alone. Because he sees that way, he does not feel any kind of difference with anyone. Remember, one who sees this way will have absolute pure love for everyone around, whether it is plant, animal or anything. I can quote some stories also here of some Mahatmas, the way they used to live. The kind of ashram, I'll give you one example for Valmiki ji here. Valmiki ji was a saint. His description comes in Ramcharitmanas that the ashram where he used to stay, even when tiger and deers, they used to walk alongside with each other. They are actually naturally built to be, one is supposed to be the food of other. But they forget that natural habit also and they become so friendly. Why? Because that Mahatma, he is established in himself. In his area, all the differences cease to exist. Even if a criminal comes and meets him, he cannot make his habit survive there. Of the criminal attitude, it completely diminishes. When he comes out of the ashram, we say, when we go to the class, we feel at a different level. When we go out, we are back to normal, right? This is what many of us say in any other session also. What happens in the class? In the class, there is a divinity of God which works through the class as the speaker, through the speaker also, and as a listener in you also, that divinity is touched, which is forgotten during the normal or day-to-day life of ours. When that divinity is touched by the words of the speaker, your divinity is touched, something which comes inside you is called Ananda. I don't know whether I understood everything or not, but I know one thing, whatever time I spent there was good. That is called the Ananda which is got touched inside you. That is the divinity of the self which expresses through that place, and it spreads across everyone because that Mahatma sees everyone as himself only. He's got no, he's got no bent of mind towards, no favorite of him. Everyone is his favorite. He doesn't have any special liking towards anything because everything is part of his liking. So that's the level of a Mahatma. The Jiva level, when we talk about, there are two things which that Jiva level accepts that we need to understand. One is that this is not my only life. I am coming from some life and I am supposed to go into a different life. Okay, this basic understanding that person who understands himself as Jiva has. That I'm coming from some life. I may not know what that life was. And I'm going to go into some life. When this understanding remains with a person that this is what I am, then remember his focus will be on 3-4 things. First, he will cultivate good culture. He will spend his life or he will invest his life. That is all you use. Spending life, so everybody is doing. You look around, everybody is spending life only. There is another below term which we use. Many are wasting life also. I'm not even talking about that. There are only some few who are actually investing life. Like, if whatever money you earn, when you keep it in your bank, you are keeping it for what? Your future. When you need in future, you could withdraw from that. It's your money. That's how culture you cultivate, and the good actions or karma you do is like a deposit for you. It is going to come at the time of when you really need it. You won't know where it came from. I'm just giving you a very small example. Somebody told me that I was driving somewhere. I met with an accident. I fell down unconscious. I do not know. I had no reason. Didn't know anyone around there. I don't know who took me to the hospital. I don't know how I am alive today. Some divine force came to help you, right? It's your karma which paid you there. There are people I see, especially I'm from Delhi, so I can tell you that in Delhi it's a very different world altogether. Everybody is so busy in themselves. Even if somebody is lying on the road, they may just walk past, they may not even look. Or the other people may surround that person, maybe clicking selfie and pictures and posting them, but there is nobody to help. But remember, that's also somebody's karma. He may not have done enough punya to get the help. If you consider yourself as Jiva, one focus will be you will cultivate a good culture. You will ensure that some part of your life you end up doing some merits which are going to lead you to a better life in future. You will also have something called devotion you will cultivate in life if you understand yourself as Jiva. Remember, when you live as a Jiva, you know one thing for sure, that you cannot lead your life alone. There are many things which you need as support to lead your life. So that support comes from that divine force, and that's where the devotion comes in. These are the few things which that Jiva will keep in mind. The third level which I spoke about was when a person lives as a Deha, body. And we all know, when that person lives as a body, why I brought this up again today, one difference I forgot to bring it up last time. When a person lives as a body, he knows that he is coming from somewhere. See, a person living as body knows that he is coming from somewhere. This is not his first time he is coming to the being. It's not the first life at all. But he says what? I don't know where I'm coming from. Right? This, even the Jiva also said, I don't know where I'm coming from. I know I'm coming from somewhere because many habits and nature and characteristics which I look at within myself, I feel I did not cultivate here. It is coming from somewhere else. So I can understand I'm coming from somewhere. And I heard that I am going to go into somewhere, but I don't believe in it. This is a point you need to remember. I don't believe in it. I was listening to something, I went somewhere yesterday. So on the way, I was coming in a cab, so somebody had put some video. I'm not going to bring up the exact topic, but they were talking about, this person is so good, he fought for freedom and all those things, but you do not know what his belief system was. When you start knowing his belief system, he was just normal as us only. Because where you stand and what you understand yourself, that is your actual level. Deha, when you consider yourself, you may not or believe that you are going into some other life. There is one philosophy which I spoke about some time back. It's called Charvak. I'm going to come about that when I talk about Swadharma later on. Charvak philosophy is built on this Dehavad. I will use one word: Atmavad, Jivavad, Dehavad. Okay, these three things, and then now we'll come to the fourth one, which is Swadharmavad. We talk about our own roles. So when you consider yourself as Jiva, you know you are coming from somewhere, you already got this life, and you do not believe that you have to go somewhere else. you will not make any effort to do something good here or cultivate something good because you don't believe that you are going to go somewhere. Your life, this life, that person's life will get wasted in what? Only and only fulfilling the needs and desire of the body. And when somebody stoops to that level, remember, the life will become what? Selfish. Everything starts with you. If somebody keeps me happy, I'll be with them, I'll be good with them. The moment that person starts giving you unhappiness, the first thing you want is to kick them out of the life. And I told you one example in this frame of mind. If you look around, I told you people marry also for happiness, people divorce also for happiness. It's a truth of life. We need to know that. So that's the third level. Bhagavan says, Arjun, even if you understand yourself as Deha, so what? You at least know you have come from somewhere. You may not believe that you are going to go into somewhere, but you know this body is not your end. This must, you know where you are going, leave that portion apart. That's why in the 30th shloka, Bhagavan summarized all that he said from 11 onwards up to 29. He said, in that shloka he said, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam. Arjun, understand the Dehi, the self which is sitting in all these Deha. And I said, Dehi is singular and the other one is plural. Sarvasya Dehe, Sarvasya Bharata. Dehe means it's a plural word. All these bodies, all these living beings you see, Arjun, there is only one Dehi which is sitting. That's why Dehi is used as singular. There are no separate Atmas in everyone. There's only single Atma. Atma is unparalleled, uncut, without any parts, and it is spread and pervading everywhere without even an iota of a place where it is not there. That's why it doesn't need to reach anywhere. It's already there everywhere. Even now, between you and me are sitting at different places, no? And little far from me. But even more than you and me, the self is present here in entirety, pervaded throughout this room, throughout this house. Because the self is present, my voice is reaching your ears. Because the self is present and things are going inside your intellect and the light of knowledge is actually shining through that, I am able to understand something. This is the power of that self. So anyway, so Deha is a different thing. Bhagavan says, now the next level, Arjun, even if you haven't understood, I'll come to the next level. He says, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam, Dehe sarvasya bharata, among this, all these bodies of plant, tree, animal, stump of tree, anything which you talk about, they are all pervaded by this one Dehi. And that Dehi is of what nature? It cannot be killed, it cannot be destroyed ever. He says, Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani. Arjun, that's why Sarvani Bhutani means for all these people who are standing in front of you, Natvam Shochitum Arhasi. He is talking about Bhishma Pitama and all. Sarvani Bhutani means they are all Bhuta. Bhuta means Panchabhuta. When we say this Bhuta word, in Hindi is a different meaning, but when you say Bhuta means, Bhut has got one meaning, past. Past is called Bhutkal. Bhut, Vartaman and Bhavishya. But when you hear Bhuta here, it means Panchabhuta. He is talking about Panchabhuta. Arjun, all these bodies are what? They are all nothing but a bundle of 5 elements. In this bundle of 5 elements, Arjun, why you need to grieve? They have come from somewhere, they will go somewhere else, so there is nothing to grieve about. Now, on the 31st shloka which I started, Bhagavan is coming to the next level which we understand ourselves to be. He says, I'll read the shloka first, which I read last time. I just touched based on that shloka. He says, Swadharmam api chaveksha na vikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yuddha shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Now, when you hear the word dharma, we usually translate the word dharma as religion. But don't take that word dharma here. Dharma means, when you hear dharma word in a common parlance, you should understand only one thing. Dharma means duty. Okay? When you hear in this shloka, it's duty he is talking about. Swadharma. Swadharma means your respective duty. He's talking about that. So what he says, Arjun, if you don't understand yourself to be those 3, there are these designations which are given to you which many people understand themselves to be. What are the designations which are given to us? Some designation as I am husband, I am wife, I am son, I am father, I am so and so, I am so and so. All these are designations marked to me. All these are identification marked with my body. Okay, that's one level of identification. The second level of identification is somebody is an IAS officer, somebody is a DM, somebody is an IPS officer. And when people don't accept their rank, they force those people to accept their rank. Right? Listen, who are you talking to? I'm an IAS officer, talk decently, They claim, they seek that, you need to stand up and respect me types. So these are the two levels which we consider, many of us consider ourselves to be. If we don't understand ourselves to be the self, and I understand that, the topic of self is very difficult, which we also felt. It comes slowly, gradually to that level to reach there. It's okay. But first look at yourself. What is your perception? What is your understanding about yourself first? Your journey starts from there. So never mind. So Bhagavan says, Arjun, what do you consider yourself? Now remember, let's look at Arjun first. Here, when Bhagavan is addressing Arjun, Bhagavan is using the word Kshatriya. Bhagavan is not using the word Arjun, you are Yudhishthir's brother. That's also a designation. He could have used that here. He didn't use that here. Why, There is one identification which Arjun has been living since childhood. Now, for that I have to go and touch Mahabharata a little bit. When you look at Mahabharata, you will see that, in the childhood, Arjun never used to play with toys. In the Mahabharata, if you read, it's a very interesting analogy. You can see a child's natural bent of mind by looking at what the child likes when he is not conscious enough to make a decision. And then you can decipher if his natural liking is towards mobiles and other things, there is a need to change that kid. You need to cultivate a culture, by the way. Arjun, the way Arjun was, his natural bent of mind was, he used to pick up Bhishma Pitama's, bow and arrow. And he used to try to, imagine a small kid trying to, shoot an arrow. His natural bent of mind was, his identification was very clear that he is born as a Kshatriya. And throughout his life, he worked hard. You need water? Yeah. Throughout the life, he worked hard to establish and prove that identification. He did Shastra Vidya and all other things. He learned why? Because he wanted to become the best Kshatriya. His identification was very clear. He always wanted to become the best archer in the world. श्रेष्ठ धनुर्धर बनना चाहता था अर्जुन. शुरू से मेहनत करी है. जब महाभारत युद्ध का समय आया, when the time of Mahabharat war came, Arjun did not, when the Vanvas time came, Arjun was not with Yudhishthira and all these people in the forest. He went to, sharpen his skills. He went to acquire divine and, weapons from Swarga and all. He got Gandiva from Bhagwan Shiva. Indra and, Bhagwan Shiva only, he gifted him many things over there. And Indra gave him Gandiva. Many things he got out as a hard work he did because his identification was very clear. Now remember, when Bhagwan is using the word, even if you would have said, you are Yudhishthir's brother, it may not have hit Arjun so well. So Bhagwan used what? The identification which is very well knit with Arjun. He knows very well the moment somebody says Kshatriya, Arjun will wake up. You touch that portion, ना, वो क्या कहते हैं? उसका मर्म पकड़ो. मर्म मतलब his, soft spot. His soft spot is, whenever he says Kshatriya, you like, who's talking to me? Tell me, what do you want me to do? Because Kshatriya's identification is very clear with Arjuna. When I'm talking about Arjuna here, please remember Bhagwan is talking at our own level. Identify where you are identified very well with, firmly with. That is where your journey should begin. Arjun has identified himself as Kshatriya, that's fine. That's why Bhagwan is using the word. If you remember the second and third shloka of this chapter, second chapter, Bhagwan was pushing Arjun to stand up and fight. What do you use? Don't behave like a eunuch. Behave like a man. He said, no, Klaibyam mas magam of Partha. Naitat tuyupapadyate. It doesn't suit you. It doesn't befit you. You're a man. You're a fighter. You're a warrior. You can't behave like these things over here. So Bhagwan is touching that soft spot of Arjun. Arjun, you are a Kshatriya. This doesn't befit you at all. Now, before coming into the literal explanation of the shloka, I want to talk about the dharma first. Dharma is a very, very wide topic. But before I get into that, I brought in one of the sessions before, I'm bringing it again here. What? Please remember the major difference between our culture, when I use our culture, I'm talking about Sanatan culture, which actually India mostly follows, or Bharatvarsh mostly follows. People may like it or not, but it is inherent in us already. So when we look and compare between our culture, Sanatan culture and Western culture, there is a major difference which I'll point out today. And I said that also in another class. Our culture is a duty-bound culture. West culture is a right-driven culture. What is the difference? I am bringing it purposively here because this class requires to understand this Swadharma here. When you say right-driven culture, let me pick up that first, then I'll come to the duty-driven culture. When you say right-driven culture, everyone can stand up anywhere and everywhere and ask for their right. Okay? The focus is on what? I should get my right. A child can also come in the family and say, to ask parents, give me my right. That's how we are grooming ourselves to be. We are all looking west now. That's a problem in that culture. I'm going to bring out that problem now, but you see first, it's a right-driven culture. You just come out on the road, raise a flag and ask government to give you your right. You have right for, what do you call that? There is a right for women, there is a right for children, there is a right for this, there is a right for that. West, you see, there are all these things they stand up and ask. But our culture is not a right-driven culture. Our culture is a duty-driven culture. They say what? Our culture is so scientific and so valid and so logical even today. Our culture says, you don't need to focus on your right. Do your duty, you will get your right automatically. If all of us focus on our duty and we do our duty well, do you think anyone will be in this world whose rights are not given to that person? For example, if a child in home does his duty as a child, will the parents not be happy to give that child their rights? Or are they going to subside it? Are they going to hide it from that child? I'm giving you husband, wife also as an example. If husband does his duty well, will the wife not happily give the right what is to be given to the husband? If the husband does it well, wife will give. If the wife does it well, husband will give. The problem happens that we don't want to do our duty, but we want to stand up and ask for our rights. I'm sorry, that culture, that system is wrong. If everyone only asks for their right, then who will do their duty? How will the world function? That's why Bhagwan uses the word Swadharma. We need to understand our duty well. I'm going to come to the definition of Dharma also today. This class I'm going to spend on Dharma because that's a word if we don't understand, we cannot move forward. But before coming to the actual definition of the word Dharma, I'm going to come in terms of what are the kind of dharmas we talk about. In Sanatan Dharma, the scriptural injection is about two dharmas. Okay? Varna Dharma and Ashram Dharma. Okay? That's the way scripture has defined in our Dharma. According to Varna and according to Ashram. That's two levels of Dharma which are covered by the scriptural injunction, and scripture has got guidance of what you need to do in these Varna and in these Ashramas. I'm going to come to that, but let me pick up the next one first. The next level of Dharma next level of duties we get is called social responsibilities or social duty. What is a social duty? Remember, social duties, I am appointed at a position. I am a manager in an organization, for example. My duty is going to be different from my subordinate. Somebody is a subordinate, somebody is a manager. Their duties will differ according to their roles. That thing society has defined. It has got nothing to do with scriptures. Scripture does not give you duty of what a duty of a manager should be, what a duty of subordinate should be. That is not for the scripture to give you. Scripture will tell you general duties of whichever varna and whichever ashrama you are. Varna means, I spoke about 4 varnas. Anyone remember? Very good. It starts with Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. 4 varna. Okay? And Bhagwan in the 4th chapter, 13th shloka, he speaks about Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. I have created these varna. Varnas, one meaning is color. They are only different shades of a society. Bhagwan never created and said that one is higher and one is lower. I'm sorry, it's not like that. Oh, we may have divided. There is not like that. It is divided basis on a logical approach. And that approach I'm going to talk about, but first listen to that. That one difference is varna. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. The next division and the next thing which scripture talks about is ashram. What is ashram? Brahmacharya, Grahasth, Vanaprasth and Sannyas. Now remember, each varna there, Brahman has got different duties. Kshatriya has got different duties and they are outlined well in the scriptures, in Vedas. Okay? Brahman's duties are outlined, what a Brahman should do. Kshatriya's duties are outlined, Vaishya's duties are outlined, and Shudra's duties are outlined. In the same way, scripture has very clear injunction and outlined very clearly the duties of Brahmacharya ashram, the duties of Grahastha ashram, the duties of Vanaprasth, and the duties of Sannyas ashram. When I say dharma and the duties, remember sannyas, what duties are there for sannyas? That cannot be a duty of grahasth also. Duties of grahasth cannot be a duty of sannyasi. In the same way, brahmacharya has got his own duties. You are supposed to do those duties. When you do those duties, it will equip you to get your rights going forward. Every ashram, every varna has got its set of duties and injunctions as per scripture. And they say, if you are a Brahmana, now remember one thing, I'm bringing out one thing which I said, it's just color, or Bhagwan has created a different one. Everybody, has every varna inside them. Even a Brahman, and during the day, he must have some spurts of moments in his time when he becomes or acts like a warrior. And they say, you are Brahman, what happened to you? Why are you behaving like a Kshatriya? During a day or during one's life, one person may have qualities of a Vaishya also inside him, Shudra also inside him, Brahmana also inside him. But then why the color has come? That one which presides over you most time of your life, most time of your day, that is your actual varna. Brahmana will be what? Brahman's actually way of looking at Brahmana is what? He should be, eager to know the truth. He should be study oriented. He should want to do research. When I say Brahmana, don't look at only Janayudharis and all those things. There are many people who are doing PhDs, research scholars. I will qualify them as Brahmana only. Their varna is Brahmana. Don't look at the way our society got divided and people out of their own interest bend it down. I am not touching that portion. I am talking about the actual way Brahmana has to be looked at. A Brahmana is one who has got a research bent of mind. There are people who do medicine and they go into medical research. They don't want to, go to hospital and treat a patient. They want to do research and contribute to medical line. There are engineers who do research. What do you qualify them as? Brahmana. There are Kshatriyas also now. Now Kshatriya is what? Majority part of your life, major part of your, the basic one which overrules you throughout the time is Kshatriya. You are a warrior. Warrior will be looked at what? He want to stand up for what is right. There are amongst our family also, there are people. I'm giving you one example. One day I was standing somewhere and I think there was something going on. And, this little girl who's now speaker on an environment, Greta Thunberg, was speaking somewhere. So, somebody said, I don't think she has got, that much of understanding or something. The one who was a supporter of that, how dare you say that? You have lived so much of your life. Have you done even 1/4 of what she has done? So imagine, the moment something wrong happens, that person will stand up. And how can you do that? And they don't not only stand up in their own family, they stand up in the society also. They stand up at the political level also. Those are the people who qualify as Kshatriya. Some people feel for the country. I heard a news of, somebody whose father has died in Kargil war. He got offers from IIM, but he chose to join in army. He dropped all B schools and joined army, even though he has lost his father in a battle in army. Why? He says, my father always wanted that, my blood should become like, one of the army men the way he became. So he said, my brother has gone somewhere else, so I chose to become the army. That's the kind of Kshatriya nature one person has. There are other people who can call, we'll call them Vaishya. Vaishya means their mind is like business kind of intellect. I'll give you one small example on a positive side. There are people I've seen, there are so many examples coming up with Make in India and all those things. There are people I've seen who had no investment, but they have become such successful businessmen from something very small. Why? Vaishya is in their blood. Their nature is that. There are people who I've heard, they say that, with waste also, somebody has become like, crorepati and millionaire and all those things. With just waste business also. What kind of an intellect they have? They have got a makeup of a Vaishya. Then comes the last class. It's last, not least. All others who do not fall under this category of Brahman and Kshatriya and Vaishya, they are classified as Shudra. Shudra has got two meanings. Shudra here is Varna, but sometimes they use the word Shudra. Shudra means lower. Shudra and Shudra are not same things. They don't consider them as same. Shudra means all those people who do not fall under these three categories, they are categorized as Shudra, which we usually call as working class. And social workers also come into that category. So that's the level of Varna. Then comes Ashrama. Ashrama you already know, I don't need to explain it further. Brahmacharya is the time when you have to gain knowledge and also gain skills for you to make your living. Grahastha is the time when you have to go into according to your own construct and your character, you go into Grahastha ashram. Some people go into Vanaprastha, which I touched about in the last class. So these two places, Shastra has got its injunction that these are the duties for these people. But when it comes to social level, just society level, the designations and the positions they get, remember one thing, those duties are defined by the organization which give you the position, or the manager or the senior who give you or carve out that position. But between these two, one thing I want to highlight is that in the case of the scriptural injunction of Varna and Ashram also, and also in the case of society level roles, remember, they are not forced upon anyone. They are earned by everyone. Earned by everyone means, for becoming an IAS officer, now I think result time is going on of the UPSC. It's already in the newspaper. Somebody's scored rank 1, AIR 1, 2 and 3 and all those things are going on. So to become an IAS officer or IPS officer, you have to qualify. You have to earn your position. This is which happens in every business. You have to earn your position. But remember, earning of position is true for Varna and Ashram also. There also you have to earn your position. Nobody by chance falls into these. It's not an accident that somebody fell into Brahman and somebody fell into Kshatriya, somebody fell into Vaishya and somebody fell into Shudra. It's not an accident that somebody's whole life is Brahmacharya, somebody's whose whole life is Grahastha, somebody's whole life is Sannyas. It's not an accident. They have earned them. Through what? Through two things. That is what I wanted to bring out to. Two things are the one which make you earn these things. One is Swabhava and other is Karma. What is Swabhava?
Behavior.
Good.
Which is given to you by birth.
It's not given to you, it's your earned. Earned. But Swabhava means actually, we usually literally translate into habit. Right? Swabhav. Apna swabhav to badlo. What habit have you cultivated? ये क्या स्वभाव बना रखा है तुमने अपना? This is how we translate literally. Habit. Habit has got very, unique thing. The thing is, when I go into read into scriptures, we understand there are so much of details to talk about. I don't know which all to bring out here. But Swabhava is something, that thing which actually guides you or leads you in your life is your immediate habit. I'm using the word. There are kind of habits which was there in the past with me, but they are not very prevalent now. Right? That one which guides you in life is actually your immediate habit. The habit which is at the surface right now. It will lead you to do action every now and then. Like I'm giving you an example. In the childhood, somebody never used to drink. I'm just giving you an example. It's very easy for me to give now because it's very commonly, seen. Somebody, childhood, they never had the habit of drinking. But they went and fell into a circle according to their vasana in the BMI chart. They fell into one circle. They did not have enough culture cultivated in their childhood to, actually stand against that vasana when it opens up. So they fell into a circle. That habit which was not there in the childhood, they pick up that habit. Now, over a period of time, by following that habit, that has become their nature. Now this man, and he goes anywhere, he will look, is there drink available or not for me to even go to functions and parties? That's the kind of habit which has become. So that thing which was not there, or the past habits which were good, which has got suppressed, this new habit which is above is going to lead his life. Remember, that's good thing for us. That means what? God has given a leeway to us that habits can be changed. We need to work on them. Sometimes we become victim and we show ourselves as victim. I do not know. I didn't want to get angry, I don't know what happened to me. I didn't want to drink, I don't know how. My hands just got pushed towards it. And it was like somebody forced me to do it. Nobody forced you. It's your habit. Full stop. Don't blame others. You haven't cultivated anything in you which could overcome your habit. So your habit, so will be your daily life. And once it becomes nature and character, good luck to you. We will see you in next life to change. At the level of habits, it can be changed. That's why with kids, mother and father, the parents have to watch out what habit the kid is falling into, because they're at a very vulnerable age. They can fall into anything and keep it with them. If you don't guide them now, because they do not know, they can't make a judgment right now. So habits is one thing, and the next thing becomes karma. Now remember, the difference of karma is like a seed. Karma means action. Action is like a seed. Why I described it as seed? Seed, if you put it somewhere, it will not grow immediately and give you fruit. Right? Any seed you put anywhere, it is not going to immediately sprout out and give you a fruit the next day. Seed needs its time. So I will give you one mathematical equation today. Action plus time is equal to result. This is not my line, it's Pujya Gurudev's line. Swami Chinmayananji said somewhere in his talk, action plus time is equal to result. Action is never is equal to result. Please don't think, science mein to we say the equation, every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. I'm saying something which takes you far from that. Actually, it's not like that. Of course, every action has got an equal and opposite reaction, but when is not said there in that equation. Plus, remember, seed, however, or whichever tree or whichever plant it may be, seed needs it time to sprout, grow into a tree. Once it grows into a tree, after many years, only it starts giving you fruit. And your result or karma phala is what? That's why, see, Sanskrit's beauty, you see, they use the word karma phala. You already know it's the fruit of your action. You can't blame anybody else. You have sown the seed. So you sow the seed. You can't think that, I will sow a seed of a mango and I will reap orange from it. It's not going to happen. Why crib about it? It's not going to happen ever. What you sow, you will reap only that at the end. But yes, the only thing with karma you need to remember is that action, it's like a seed. It will take its time to become a tree and start giving you fruit. That's why it is said, what you are reaping in this life may be the fruit of the action of your last life. Now remember, there are different kinds of plants that I should also bring it up here. There are some plants which will grow very fast, right? And they give fruit also. There is time lapse which is required. Maybe 6 months, year, 2 years, I do not know. Mango tree, which may take 5 years, 6 years to start giving you fruit. There are different kinds of trees. So why I brought up that different kind of trees is that there are some actions which of yours in this life which are like those trees, those seed which are going to give you fruit in this life also. There are very rare few seeds of your action which is going to fructify in this life. But most of the fruit you are reaping is actually coming from the past life. And the most of the action you are doing now, with the time lag, it is going to be given to you back as a result or fruit in the coming lives to come. I am using word purposely, not next life I said. When anybody who speaks on Vedanta will never say next life. How do I guarantee you everything is going to come to you next life? We will use the word coming lives. I do not know how many people have got how many lives. So it will be spread across depending upon whenever it becomes, whenever it starts bearing fruit, whenever it fructifies, it will be given to you. So whatever we receive in life is actually fruit of our own action, and whatever we sow now is going to give us fruit in this life or next life to come. So remember, action plus time is equal to result. Now the two things I said here is Swabhav and Karma. Swabhav and Karma will decide and will tell you are which Varna, whether Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. It's according to your own Swabhava and according to your own Karma. Now remember why I said these are not given to you forcefully. You have earned it yourself. Whatever Swabhava you have cultivated in your past life, whatever character nature you have cultivated in past life, and whatever actions you have done in past life, those come together and decide whether you become Brahman in next life, whether you become Kshatriya in next life, whether you become Vaishya or whether you become Shudra. You have to earn it. That is the focus Bhagavan is saying, Arjun. Remember at this place, even if you see yourself as identified well with your Swadharma, with your duty, even then you have nothing to, cry about and crib out. You have nothing to waver from. He says, Vikampitum. Vikampitum means don't shiver from these positions. You have Kshatriya, you got this war, just fight it. You think that you can run away from your duty. That's another thing which Bhagavan will bring up. There are a couple of things you need to remember when we, talk Vedanta. Vedanta says we are all bound or sent here to do our duty. Don't worry about your rights. Rights will definitely come to you if your duty is done well. Nobody is going to. Bhagwan will make sure that your right is given to you. You don't have to stand up with a flag and other things outside. Don't have to fight with your family to fight for your rights. What is due to you, there is a word which we keep hearing. What is due to you will come to you. Nobody can stop it. With that confidence we should go. Now, dharma, let me just explain the word dharma here to you now. Duty, dharma means duty here. Now, there is a very beautiful definition and analysis Pujya Swami Subodhananji did, and he said it in one of the sessions here. See, when I look at duty, I said duty is nothing but others' right on me. I'm repeating myself. Others' right on me is equal to my duty. What is others' right? I'm explaining that. And that's the point I wanted to bring out. Explain this is, whatever rights others have on you, like for example, if you are a mother, your children have certain rights on you. Their rights is your duty towards your children. Your, husband's right on you becomes your duty towards your husband. In the same way, your right on your husband becomes husband's duty towards you. Others' rights on me are actually my duty towards them. Whether I look in all those three levels I said, what is the level I said? Varna, ashrama, or social level, or at the level of society. For example, I am a manager in a company. What is my duty? My subordinates' right on me is my duty towards them. Very simple. This is easy. I tell you, our Rishi Munis had such a medha. Pujya Swami Subodhananji's way of analysis. I could never think of these things at all. You don't have to worry and understand, do not spend too much time on that. Now remember, if you are in a family, you have different duty towards children, different duty towards spouse, different duty towards your parent. Because, why? Their parents' right on you is not equal to husband's right on you, is not equal to the child's right on you. The rights are different, so the duty is different. You do not have to go far. If you just understand their rights on you, you will understand your duty well. And Bhagwan says, he's going to say it further also. Pujya Swami Subodhananji said it very beautifully. Scripture gives you one point there. Even if you have to forego your right on others, I'm using the word, it's very difficult, but it is doable. Even if you have to forego your right on others, but never give up your duty towards others. Is that how the Western culture is? Western culture says, forget about the duty, just claim your right. That culture we have to move out of. They say, even if you cannot give up your duty, at least weaken its hold on you. You will be very happy and satisfied. But that doesn't mean, weaken means you will not get your right. You will get your right. But they are saying, don't be too caught up in that right. Because your attention is only one. Either you will focus on duty or you will focus on right. If you focus too much on right, you don't think like that, you are missing on your duties. And in the coming shlokas, he is going to talk about that duty, not doing a duty, what is the problem, which I'll come at that point in time. So now, with this background, you see how much background I had to give only on Swadharma. With this background, we will try to understand this shloka. Bhagwan says, Arjun, even if you see your Swadharma, what is your Swadharma? He uses word Kshatriyasya. Your Swadharma is what? For Kshatriya, the Swadharma is to fight. When the opportunity comes. Now remember, Kshatriya doesn't mean here that if there is no war happening, let me only pick up fight with everyone. That is not what Kshatriya talks about. So I am a Kshatriya, if you don't give me war, I will create war wherever I am. Like our neighboring countries are doing, that is not Kshatriya Dharma here. You don't need to pick up fights. If given a chance, you have to fight for your right, you fight for your duties. You fight for your country, stand up and do that, but don't end up going and creating a situation to fight. Arjun, even if you go focus on that, you see your Swadharma, cha avekshya. Even if you see like that, then also you have no reason to get shaken up from your work. Why? Dharmyadi yuddhat. He is using an adjective there for this yuddha. This war is what? It's a dharma yuddha. It is a Kshatriya's duty to protect his men and protect his country from adharma. From those powers which are destroying my people, which are ruining the image of my country. I'm using these words purposively because these are big debatable things right now going on in the public arena. I am bound to protect my country and protect my people from the bad rulers or the bad people or the adharma which is ruining them, their life and the image of my country. He says, Arjun, dharmadi yuddha. You are fighting a dharma yuddha. He says, shreyaha anyat nas vidyate. From, in comparison to this war, there is nothing better for you, O Kshatriya, in life. Stand up and fight. You cannot get a better opportunity than this, Arjun. You have got the opportunity of the kind of swabhava and karma you were born into. You wanted to save people. You wanted to protect your folks. You wanted to protect your country. Here is the opportunity in front of you. Stand up and fight. There is no better opportunity. He uses the word Shreyas. I told you there are two words, Prayas and Shreyas. Right? Prayas means that thing which is of my liking, but it may or may not be ultimately good for me. Right? I can tell you many examples outside, but you guys can see it yourself. But Shreyas means what? Immediately it may be asking me to work hard, asking me to bear the pain, but the end of it is going to be best for me. It is going to lead me or take me into a next life and drop me there in a higher level of achievement. He says, Arjun, for you remember, there is nothing more Shreyaskar, nothing better in life overall for you than fighting this war. Na vidyate. ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं जो तुम्हें इससे अच्छी opportunity तो मिलेगी नहीं. Sometimes we tell our kids, na, why you want to give this up? There is no better opportunity you can find than this. We are the one who advise our kids like that. So Bhagavan is saying the same thing to Arjun here. Now, for a moment, take back this shloka into our own understanding of life and our own life. And look in your arena, in your area, in your varna, in your ashrama, that what is the duty you have got which you need to work on and move on. Please remember, if you keep spirituality with you, there are all these three levels I spoke about: Varna Dharma, Ashram Dharma, and your Dharma or designation or identification, which is given to you by the society in terms of your roles and responsibilities. You will be able to fulfill them very well. Spirituality is not recommending anybody to run away from life. They say you have fallen into this situation, into this ashrama, into this varna because of your own build-up, your own mental makeup in this BMI. You have to move on, work through this and exhaust something called vasanas. Now that's the point I'll pick up in the next class. I'm going to touch about it right now. What happens if you continually focus on your duties and let the right come to you? Your duties is the secret key. I'm using and marking my word. Is the secret key of you to exhaust your vasanas. If you focus well on your duties and continually obey them and work through them, trust me, piece by piece, duty by duty, you are exhausting your vasanas. So, what is so great in exhausting vasanas? Till the time you have vasanas, you cannot see the self, number one. You cannot experience the self, that's number two. But more than that, you will have to keep coming into the cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. It will keep repeating with you. The only way to exhaust vasanas, Gurudev used to say, just focus on your duties, do your duty well. There is no way that your vasanas won't get exhausted. Acha, now let me turn the table around for the other thing also. If you focus too much on your rights, I picked up that example, so I should pick up that also. Na? See, if you focus only on your right and don't do your duties, forget about exhaustion of vasanas. That's not going to happen. That's one thing. But another bigger problem happens. You will keep on accumulating new vasanas. That's another problem which will happen. So Bhagavan says, do you want to really be free or not? We all are born to be free. How will you become free if you are creating vasanas and not exhausting any one of them? And remember, our swabhava, our characteristic, our nature, our habit, plus vasanas are the biggest blockage or covering on our M and I, mind and intellect, which stops us or blocks us from grasping this subtler subject or the truth about self or the actual reality about ourself. So Bhagavan says, Arjun, focus on your Swadharma. Now he will give 2-3 more examples which we will take up in the next class. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanaeti samarpayami Shriman Narayanayeti samarpayami. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Om Tat Sat.